Poor Ben.
Can I build up? Right, everyone, let's do this. Right, 10:20, 10 minutes or so. Let me just say, don't count this as my 10 minutes. But how important it is to have things such as this. Ways that we can bring people together to share, to talk, to be open. It was nice chatting to Karen and to Natalie a few minutes ago, but these things are really important. If I could stay on Zoom, I would. We tested out doing hybrid events from last July that didn't work. And I'm a big believer in how we come back together. But these moments of sharing time together on these little forums and these communities that we build, such as this, and listen, well played to the hard work from Peter and Sarah. This is so important. So imagine if I sat here now, and I was like, right, I'm going to talk to you about why TikTok is the next fad that I need you to be interested in, or this is the purpose of why you need to brand, and 6 elements why branding is really important. I can't do that because I am a stranger. I can't do it because I'm a stranger. So Peter said, right, what we're going to do now is, when I said what we're going to do, no one thinks like, oh my God, he's going to ask me to do something. I'm not. We're going to talk about how we exercise the honesty muscle. So I put a link in the chat about You Are the Media. So You Are the Media is my thing. This is the marketing, training and learning community. It's all around about how people can create content, how we can build. So we've got 3 choices, haven't we? We've got the written word, we've got video, and we've got audio. That's all we've got. So how can we be resourceful, and how can we genuinely build an audience? This, if you go, there's a subscribe button there. If you do subscribe, by the way, you are getting a personal video from me to say hello once you subscribe. So I'm a big believer in how we can create and how we can build and how we can be independent. And as I've said, without being reliant on an algorithm, always being reliant on Google or LinkedIn, how we can genuinely do it. And one of those things that Peter said, he said, look, can you do your thing, Mark, about it was something that I shared that was that was focused on acting like your mum is watching. So I put together this little presentation to share with you. So I've got to keep the energy levels. I've got to keep you guys. You're looking at me thinking, who is this stranger trying to entertain me now on a Wednesday morning at 10:24? Right, I've got to, let me get up. I even put together a little presentation. Let's do this. Right, so I am going to swear. I'm going to say one swear word. One swear word. Please forgive me. Please forgive me. I'm doing it for effect. So this thing about acting like your mum is watching is when we share, we have to do it for the right reasons, rather than creating this false facade or impression that we are worthy. I get it. Because acting and behaving as though people should trust you is different from being trustworthy. Right, let me show you again. I'm putting myself out for a beating here. Again, you're looking at me thinking, who is this bloody stranger? So I am saying, let me show this little clip. I found this one. I want to show you this. Because when we present ourselves in a business space, we have to look self-important. I have to talk to you. When we present ourselves, we have to look professional. Let me just click. I hope this works. Can you see this screen?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right, this YouTube, right? Watch this YouTube clip, right? Can you hear it?
No.
Oh, balls! Sarah, you're recording this, and I want this to be right. I'm going to have to unplug. All right, here we go.
Our audience, we've created webmails for our audience through kind of real simple ways that are controlled via us. It doesn't involve advertising, but it's controlled via us to kind of put us in front of our audiences.
Shut up.
Right, let's do. Can you hear me again, everyone?
Yeah.
I can hear you and see you, mate.
The reason I shared that is that at the time I had all this stuff in my head. but I didn't know how to say it. I didn't know how to say it. I had all these ideas and things in my head. It was just a garbled mess. And I'm just a man who is very nervous. The reason I throw my arms about and everything else is nerves more than anything else. But the reason that I do it, the reason I wanted to highlight, let me just get this back in. The reason I wanted to highlight that, let's get this back, was just to show that I was trying to be somebody that I wasn't. I was trying to impress, but hey, we were all like that as we're trying to build our own little space. But let me share with you these little checkpoints that to validate that before you press publish, before you share something on Facebook or LinkedIn, is that what you say is genuine and it's anchored. And this is how we can find ways that represent us. So why not have a little fun little way for these last few minutes, just highlighting that this isn't about creating bland content, everybody, or just to fit in and be safe. So right, here's some little checkpoints. So is it you? Right. So if you step back, look at that work that you create. Again, podcast, video, written word. Can you say that what you were saying is a true representation of you? Now, are we trying too hard that you're trying to sound important? Would it be better, right, to explain the technical stuff, the things that are quite difficult, but explain it in our own style and our own way of understanding? Because what we're trying to say is that mum would, what we want our mum to say, look, is that's you, that is. So is what we're sharing believable? So the experiences that we all encounter shape our ideas and what we share, don't they? And this is different, right? It's different from telling others that our experiences have shaped us to be these like pristine, renowned professionals. Buy from me, please. It doesn't work like that. Because stating that you're the best and that your achievements are unparalleled might give you this appreciative nod, but in a way, it kind of makes up for your lack of credibility. Your mum is going to say, look, I'd never expect that from you. And again, is what you are saying and sharing, is it just really an advert but shaped a different way? So where we all know now, if you're going to step forward and just shoehorn something in, that's going to make you look sincere. Whereas in reality, you're doing it because you have to. You're stepping forward. You're selling your products. You're selling what your services are, but we do it because we do. We need to pay these. We need to pay the bills. We also need to find a return for our efforts. But treating every space as free advertising does wear thin. And the next point as well is that, is what we share truthful? So what we share, does it come from a place that is to the truth of your best ability? Good example is that a couple of months ago, Seth Rogen, big podcast, came into a lot of steam when it came to COVID misinformation, the guest that he had on. So this is one of the most listened to podcasts in the world. So it makes you recognize that what we share, or when people subscribe and join in with you, we have a place of responsibility for what we say and do. So is what we're sharing, is what you share from a place that's respectful, accurate. Listen, I'm all up for being brave as well, because you want your mum to proudly think, look, you always told the truth at school and you still do it. And another way as well when it comes to acting like your mum is watching is what you share and what you say. Well, is it there to look successful? Is it there to look self-made? And heightening a particular output can inflate our own presence. And does it draw attention to you? Or is what we share there to support and be of value to other people? Because if everything is intended just to come back to you, yeah, it's all about me at the end of the day. It's not about the help, the provide, and the useful and the utility for other people. Why should other people be bothered? Again, let's coming up. We start to my little last point as we're coming up for our 10 minutes as we start to conclude. Is what you share and do, and even though your mum's there, your little imaginary mum is there, is what we are doing, is it to people please? So when your work is there, right, to have this infinite number of people, right, and this is the thing I've realized over the years, we go out there to, our audience is not everybody. When we go out to keep an infinite number of people happy, does your work start to slip away from the values that represent yourself and the things that you stand for? Because strangers are always going to be in abundance, aren't they? We see that. This, unfortunately, this lean into more likes that we see on places makes us more credible. We know that it doesn't. Because our work, similar to the stuff that's going on here, what Peter does your work apply to the people you are never going to meet? Or is your work concentrated on the right audience, such as vague things that we start to read that are popular, you know, themes on ambition or happiness? Because it's too easy to get drawn in these quick wins. It's about creating the work for the right people. Because you don't want your mum to say, are you a motivational speaker? Because the thing as I start to round this up with you now, is that it is always other people who decide. Because when forming, we need to find good habits of what we create. And it's the honesty and the consistency that people will choose to think if you are the right person for them. See, now I'm so used to Zoom now, I can address and I point at the screen and I know how this little box works. All right, let's start to round up. So this mum test is a way to look others in the eye and you can proudly say, this is me, as I'm pointing at the camera. So even better, does your mum know this is a true reflection of you and the way that you deliver in a way that is simple, that is clear, and for them to understand. Another reason, let me, quick story. The reason the resonance of this. A few years ago, coming back to that video that I shared with you at the beginning, I had a mentor paid for, I don't know what I would call it. This is my swear word I'm going to say. It was a really tough day. And it was a day my mum was diagnosed with cancer. And I had this mentor, and this mentor said to me, he said, do you know, when I see all the work that you put out there, from your videos to the writing to everything you do, he said, you come across as a wanker. And I was like, I'm begging your pardon. So, or I could pick myself up off the floor. In a way, I got it. Because sometimes looking to sound important and big is really easy. Finding the simplicity to what we want to say is actually the most toughest thing. So if you want to convey a message of someone that isn't you or this persona that you create, that's fine. But at some point, you're going to get found out. Because the bluster and the self-importance that we see that's out there and the peacocking can only go so far. Because sometimes putting these small steps with our honesty muscle in practice is what helps other people to decide. It's what helps us build on trust. We want other people to make it easier to buy into what we do and all the relationships that we build. Because this mum test, these few minutes that I wanted to share with you today, is how we are always there to keep our feet firmly on the ground. I've had a link in here as well. Listen, I put the link in the chat as well. As Peter mentioned, if you subscribe, we also get a little video. You get a little video from me. It's not as though you're paying your £30 with these little videos, and I've got someone from Coronation Street from the 90s telling me it's a happy birthday. You get even better than that. I can say hello to you. I hope you enjoyed that. I'm going to stop sharing screen.
Perfect. Thank
I've lost
you.
you. Where have you gone? There you are. Thank you
Lovely
so much.
energy.